Alright, so tonight's bedtime story is Cinderella. Page 182.
182.
Yep. Is that a lot of pages? Or little pages? 182. Is 182 a lot or little?
Little.
That's a lot, actually. Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a young girl who lived with her widowed father. Eventually, her father remarried. His new wife had 2 daughters of her own. She was mean and spiteful to the young girl, and so were her daughters. They made the girl do all the housework, eat scraps, and sleep by the fireplace among the cinders and ashes. Because she slept in the cinders, they named her Cinderella. One day, a letter arrived from the palace. All the women in the land were invited to attend a grand ball, where the prince would choose a bride. Cinderella's stepsisters were very excited. Her stepmother was sure one of her daughters would marry the prince. She made Cinderella work night and day to make them as beautiful as possible. Cinderella washed and curled their dull hair. She cut and shaped their ragged nails. She stitched their ball gowns, and she polished their dancing shoes until they shone. Cinderella longed to go to the ball herself, but her stepsisters just laughed. "You go to a ball?" the elder stepsister said. "But you don't have a pretty dress." "How ridiculous," said the younger stepsister. "You are always covered with soot and cinders." Tears ran down Cinderella's face as she helped her stepsisters into their dresses and jewels. At last,
Mama,
they left for the ball.
Really looks beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, she really looks beautiful.
She does. At last, they left for the ball. Cinderella sat alone by the fireplace. She cried and cried. "If only I could go to the ball," she said through her tears, "and be happy for just one night. I so wish to go." Cinderella had barely finished speaking when there was a sparkle of light in the dull kitchen, and there stood a fairy. "Don't be afraid, my dear. I am your fairy godmother," the fairy said, "and you shall go to the ball." Cinderella stared in amazement at the fairy. Quickly, she dried her eyes. "Really? Can I go to the ball?" she asked, barely daring to believe it. "If you do as I say, all will be well," the fairy answered. "I'm used to doing as I'm told," Cinderella sniffed. The fairy godmother told her to bring a pumpkin, 4 white mice, and a black rat. Cinderella hurried to the garden to pick the pumpkin. She found 4 mice in the kitchen, and she caught a rat sleeping in the barn. With a wave of the fairy's wand, the pumpkin turned into a gleaming golden coach.
Mom, is that the fairy?
Yep.
And is that the girl?
Yep, that's Cinderella. Cinderella gasped in astonishment. "It's beautiful," she said, "but who will drive it?"
Well, how did Cinderella got this dress?
Well, we'll hear in a second. The fairy waved her wand again, and the 4 mice turned into 4 handsome white horses. She waved her wand a third time, and the rat turned into a tall coachman. "How wonderful," Cinderella cried, "but I can't go to the ball in these rags." "And you won't go in rags," her fairy godmother cried. She waved her wand, and Cinderella's rags turned into a beautiful ball gown. Glittering glass slippers appeared on her feet. Cinderella looked lovely. "Now off you go," the fairy godmother said, "but remember, all of this will vanish at midnight, so make sure you're home by then." Cinderella climbed into the coach, and she whisked her way to the palace. She had never been happier.
I just want to get under the blanket.
Everyone was enchanted by the lovely stranger, especially the prince, who danced with her all evening. Cinderella enjoyed herself so much that she completely forgot her fairy godmother's warning. Suddenly, the palace clock began to strike midnight. Bong, bong, bong.
Stop on my face.
Cinderella picked up her skirts and fled. The worried prince ran after her. Bong, bong,
Stop.
bong. That's what it
Doing
said.
on my face.
She ran down the palace steps. She lost one of her glass slippers on the way, but she didn't dare stop. Cinderella jumped into the coach and drove it off before the prince could stop her. On the final stroke of midnight, Cinderella found herself sitting on the roadside beside a pumpkin. 4 white mice and a black rat scampered around her. She was dressed in rags and had only a single glass slipper left from her magical evening. Even if it was a dream, she said to herself, it was a perfect dream.
Mama, that reading went all the way over here.
Yeah, the ringing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This reading went all the way over here.
Oh, the reading, okay. At the palace, the prince looked longingly at the glass slipper he had found on the steps. He could not forget the wonderful girl he had danced with all night. I will find her, he said to himself, and I will marry her. So he took the glass slipper and set out to visit every house in the land.
I'm not gonna get married.
At last, he came to Cinderella's house. Her 2 stepsisters tried to squeeze their huge feet into the delicate slipper, but no matter what they did, they could not get the slipper to fit. Cinderella watched as she scrubbed the floor. May I try, please? She asked. You? Laughed the oldest sister. You didn't even go to the ball. Everyone may try, the prince said. Cinderella sat down, and her foot slipped easily into the glass slipper. The prince took Cinderella into his arms and said, "You're the one," he said. I said it twice.
Mama, is that the girl?
Will you marry me, please? Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were furious. It can't be her. She's just a servant. She dresses in rags. But at that moment, the fairy godmother appeared and turned Cinderella's rags back into the fabulous ball gown. Cinderella took the other slipper from her pocket. Yes, Cinderella said, it was me. And yes, I will marry you. Much to the disgust of her stepmother and stepsisters, Cinderella married the prince the very next day and went to live in the palace.
Yo, Mama.
The couple lived, hold on.
But how did she get the a dress on this side? And why?
Because I told you, the fairy godmother made it for her.
And then how did she not get it over here?
She has it right there.
Is that her?
Uh-huh. Much to the disgust of her stepmother.
She doesn't have it on
Well, because
here?
she wasn't wearing it there, because she had to go back to being Cinderella, remember? Much to the disgust of her stepmother and stepsister, Cinderella married the prince the very next day and went on to live in the palace. The couple lived long, happy lives together, and Cinderella's stepmother and her daughters had to do their own cleaning and never went to another ball at the palace. The end.
The stepsisters are crocodiles because they're mean.
They're crocodiles, the stepsisters?
And then the other ones, this one's that one. And the prince is a cute lion.
Oh, a cute lion.
And these are the...
Very nice. Ugh, Mom's tired. You ready for bed?
Like...
I see. That's very nice. Only Cinderella's out.
Yeah.
Oh, now Cinderella's out over here. Oh, now she's out over here. All right.
Mommy, can you do that? Cinderella's out here, and then Cinderella.
Cinderella's out over here. No, she's out over here. You just need one, and then they'd all be covered. You need one more.
But I can't find it.
I know.
Yeah.
So we just have to suffer.
No, where's the giraffe?
I love you.
I had a giraffe.
I don't know. I love you.
Let me find my giraffe.
I love you. I'm ending the video, hon. It's too long.
I love you.
Good night.
There's my giraffe.
Oh, there you go. And now they're all covered.
Yeah, Cinderella cover, the prince cover, the mean girls are cover, the nice girls cover.
Good night, my beauty.
Good night, Mommy.